Hey, game players, GamerDad here, and I have something a little bit different. This is a Magic the Gathering Fat Pack opening, and it's also going to be a channel update. I'm speeding this up on the video here because these damn things are really, really hard to get into. It's not just me. A lot of people that are opening these have the same problems. But when I originally recorded this, I was having lots of camera problems and lots of interruptions. So I figured I'd put together um, this opening with a channel update. The last video I put out, I think it was about a month ago, was a let's break UA or let's um, build UA deck or something like that, because UA was probably my favorite deck or one of my favorite decks in Yu-Gi-Oh, and I really was trying really, really hard to make that deck really, really good. Um, if anybody really cares, add the speedroids to it. Amazing. But basically, what happened is I have not had fun playing Yu Gi Oh! In months now. And I do enjoy Yu Gi Oh! I don't like playing competitively at the moment. I'm kind of burned out on it, I guess. So I've decided to take a little bit of a break from Yu Gi Oh! But there needed to be something to kind of fill that gap. Um, but before I go into that, and I'm just doing this off the cuff completely, so it might be a little bit disjointed, but I originally got into card games with my nephew, and we were playing Magic. So Magic was the first card game that I ever played, and we enjoyed it. He was middle school at the time that he was playing, what, 2003, I think it was, back around the time of Dark Steel and Mirrodin and all that. And we played, and he grew up, and he went to school, and I didn't have anybody to play with. Um, the only place locally was a comic book store, and they quit doing tournaments because people kept stealing stuff. So there was really no place for me to go, nobody to play with. So I just kind of put everything in a shoebox and gave up on it. Well, my daughter, she said, "Hey, Daddy, I want to play Yu Gi Oh!" All right. So we went, picked up a couple of structure decks at Walmart. I think it was the Dragons Collide. And we learned to play Yu Gi Oh! Eventually found a local game store opened up. And we went there and found a really big Yu Gi Oh! Community. At the time, there was 25, 30 people playing almost weekly. And at first, I was watching her and helping her as I tried to learn myself. And then it's like, you know what? This is fun. I think I'd like to play. Then I remembered I had the shoebox full of magic cards. So I brought them all down, traded them in, and uh, started playing Yu Gi Oh! And we played for a couple years, and slowly she kind of got out of it as I got more and more into it. I tried to be competitive, but I never had the money to invest in it. And really, the power creep and just the insanity of the broken decks in Yu Gi Oh! Have been really off putting for a while. And you could say that I'm a whiny little bitch, but I just haven't enjoyed it. Um, I think the turning point was when I was playing Gem Knights, and they're either all or nothing. And when you're on the side of the cards where you can kill a player in one turn, you're having fun, kind of. But when you're on the receiving end of it, it sucks. Well, I was playing Gem Knights and I played against an Ignite deck. And if you don't know what Ignites is, it's pretty much draw, kill, basically. And just like in Magic, you don't attack first. So basically, whoever went second won. Uh, my opponent won the die roll, so he opted to go second the first game. I made what I thought was a decent defensive play, not knowing what he was playing, and it went something like draw, board wipe, kill. All right, so game two, he didn't really have much to do first turn. Um, Basically, I came back with Gem Knights, did ridiculous combo, kill. Game three, he went second, I went first. He drew, kill. And it's like, it was the most useless game of Yu Gi Oh! Ever. Each game, each part of that match lasted 2 turns. And it was boring and it was irritating. And I guess that was like the biggest turning point. But, so Yu Gi Oh! Like I said, it just hasn't been fun. It hasn't really been entertaining. It'll always be a part of my life, I believe. And I did keep a bunch of my stuff, so I do play, um, just for fun when I get the chance. My daughter doesn't play at all anymore. She's done with it. So every now and then, you know, I kept a deck for playing. But so my nephew graduated college. He moved back, and he had sold all his stuff for Magic, and he was playing Warhammer. Well, I don't know what happened. He showed up one day with a modern deck, Soul Sisters, and he's like, I miss Magic, but I don't want to play Standard. I just want to build a deck that I could have be competitive with it, and I'll always have this deck, and if I need to add to it, maybe I could add a card here and there. He was getting burned out on the money that he was spending on Standard, trying to keep it competitive, trying to pretty much the same thing that happened with me in Yu-Gi-Oh! He just got fed up with it. So he decided he was going to play Standard, and he traded in a bunch of his old video games and stuff and bought a box of Battle for Zendikar and some dual decks, and he came over and we played, and it was so much fun. Not having played in forever, and just it was refreshing. So that was that. I needed money, so I did trade in a bunch of my Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. Like I said, I kept a bunch of decks in case I wanted to play, namely Blue Eyes and UAs. Um, so, needless to say, once I traded everything in, I got my money, got a fat pack, and that's what I'm opening here. And pretty much the best card that I pulled out of this entire thing, I believe, is the Foil Forest. Um, I was actually planning on getting a playset of each foil card for the land, but damn, they're expensive. So I scrapped that idea real quick. But that was probably my favorite card that I pulled out of this. But now I did put together a standard deck, and I'm gonna showcase that because I did play one semi-competitive FNM here recently, and I went undefeated with it. Surprisingly, I'm not saying that I'm the best player. I'm not saying that I was up against the best competition, but pretty much everybody built their deck that day. So it not like it's going to be the greatest deck in the world, but it functions, and it functioned quite well. But yeah, so here in the future, I'm probably gonna swing into a draft tournament here and there, or I might take my deck to Friday Night Magic. But as far as being all into Magic like I was Yu Gi Oh, that's probably not going to happen. One, I don't have the money, and I really don't want to dedicate the time for it. But I do really enjoy just the competition, the playing of the games, the okay, I'm going to sit here for a couple hours. I'm going to not give a damn about anything else going on, and I'm just going to play, and I'm going to have fun. And then after those few hours, life can come back, and I can deal with that a little bit more refreshed. And that's what these card games are. It's a hobby. It's a release. Yu-Gi-Oh was just frustrating because I felt like I could do better. I felt like I could do more. I felt like I could win more with what I was doing, with what I had, just from experience. But I couldn't. You really do. It really is about how much money that you put in, and the power creep, and the super stupid level of monster abilities, and ridiculous amounts of level power, and just insanity is just off-putting to me for Yu-Gi-Oh right now. Um, and with Magic, yes, you have overpowered cards, but from what I understand, from what I've seen, there's always a counter for it. There's always something that puts it back. I do believe that Magic is much more balanced than Yu-Gi-Oh. And I know you have your top tier decks. Every game is gonna have that. Um, but it's just I don't know. Magic right now, maybe because I was so um, irritated and bored with Yu-Gi-Oh. It's just fun. So this is what I'm going to be doing from now on for the near future. Um, Now Yu-Gi-Oh does have some Blue Eye support coming out in the near future, and I may or may not pick that up. But I'm not buying anything new with Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm not putting any money into it for now. Locals lately, all the people that I enjoyed playing with, most of them are gone. They've moved on. They can't play anymore. So it's kind of boring spending a few hours for a game that bores me. And I know this was supposed to be a box opening, but I wanted everybody to know what was going on. And really, when I first envisioned this channel, I was going to go back and forth between Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic. My nephew was going to do the Magic, but it didn't happen. So we stuck with Yu-Gi-Oh. And now we're going back to Magic, and hopefully soon I'm going to try to get some Let's Plays of different things, and hopefully the future will be a little bit more exciting. See ya.